And it was a perfect Saturday morning in our house in Connecticut. The kind of morning you see in laundry detergent commercials. I was in the kitchen, flipping pancakes on the griddle, while my 4-year-old daughter, Emmy, was sitting at the island, coloring a picture of a purple elephant. My wife, Sarah, was upstairs getting ready for her yoga class. My phone buzzed on the granite countertop, an email notification from 23andMe. I'd almost forgotten about it. 2 months ago, we did these tests for fun. My dad always claimed we had some distant royal blood in Europe, and I wanted to prove him wrong. I swiped the notification, laughing to myself. I expected a pie chart showing I was 90% British and maybe a little Irish, but as the page loaded, the laughter died in my throat. I saw a red exclamation mark next to Emmy's profile. I clicked it, thinking it was a system error, but the words on the screen were clear. Biological match, 0%. The room went cold. I looked at Emmy. She has my chin. She has my stubbornness. How could a screen tell me she wasn't mine? I stood there for what felt like an hour. The pancakes burning on the stove. The smell of smoke filling the kitchen. Emmy looked up at me and asked, "Daddy, are you okay?" I couldn't even answer her. I felt like I was looking at a stranger. Every memory, holding her in the delivery room, her first steps, the way she cries when she scrapes her knee. It all felt like a movie I'd stolen from someone else. I grabbed my laptop to see if the website was glitching. I refreshed the page a dozen times. I checked the kit numbers. Everything matched. Then I started digging into the raw data. I'm a software engineer. I deal with data for a living. I found a section called Family Connections, and that's where the mystery deepened. Under Emmy's name, it said, Shared DNA, 25.1%. Predicted relationship, niece. My heart was hammering against my ribs so hard it hurt. A niece. To have a niece, you need a sibling. But I was an only child. My parents told me I was their miracle baby after years of infertility. Nothing was making sense. Up. Sarah came downstairs, humming a tune, looking radiant in her gym gear. When she saw the smoke from the pancakes, she laughed. "Mark, honey, you're burning breakfast." I didn't laugh. I turned the phone toward her. The silence that followed was deafening. She read the screen, and her face went from confusion to sheer terror in 3 seconds. "Who is he, Sarah?" I asked. My voice was a whisper, but it felt like a scream. She started shaking her head, tears instantly welling up. "Mark, I swear to God, I have never been with anyone else. I don't know what this is." We spent the next 2 hours in a brutal cycle of accusations and denials. I called her a liar. She called me a monster for even suggesting it. I was packing a suitcase, throwing shirts into a bag blindly, when she grabbed my arm and begged me to look at the niece part again. "How can I be her aunt if you don't have a brother?" she sobbed. That was the moment we both realized this lie was older than our marriage. I drove to my mother's house in the middle of the night. It's a 2-hour drive, and I did it in 90 minutes. When I banged on her door at 2 a.m., she looked at me through the glass, and I think she already knew. She didn't ask why I was there. She just led me to the kitchen and started making coffee with trembling hands. "Mom, do I have a brother?" I asked. She didn't look at me. She just stared at the coffee pot. Then she told me the story she'd buried for 30 years. She was 19, living in a trailer park abandoned by my father. She gave birth to twins, 2 boys, She was starving, alone, and terrified. She made a choice no mother should have to make. She kept me, and she gave my brother to a wealthy family through a private, closed adoption. She never even got to hold him. She thought if she never spoke of him, he wouldn't exist. She was wrong. He existed in my blood, and apparently he'd crossed paths with my wife. I went back home and woke Sarah up. We sat on the edge of the bed, the sun just starting to peek through the blinds. I told her about my brother. Her eyes went wide and she covered her mouth with her hands. Then she told me about the break. 5 years ago, we'd had a massive fight, the kind where you say things you can't take back. We didn't speak for a week. Sarah had gone to a bar in the city to clear her head. She was 2 drinks in when she saw me walk in. He sat next to her. He had my face, my voice, even that weird way I tilt my head when I'm listening. She thought I'd followed her there to apologize. She thought it was a romantic gesture. They didn't talk much, they just went back to a hotel. She thought it was us fixing things. A week later, we actually did reconcile, and she never mentioned that night because she thought it was our little secret makeup session. She had no idea she'd spent the night with a ghost who shared my exact DNA. So where does that leave us? My daughter is biologically my niece. My wife was faithful to my face, but not to my person. And somewhere out there, a man named Julian, a lawyer who lives 40 miles away, is living a life that could have been mine. I've looked at his social media. He likes the same music I do. He wears the same brand of watches. I haven't reached out to him yet. How do I tell a stranger he has a daughter? And how do I look at Emmy now? Every time she smiles, I see my brother's genes, not mine. But when she calls me daddy, I know that a DNA test can't define a father. In the world of unset lines, the truth isn't black and white. It's a gray, messy blur, and sometimes knowing the truth is the most expensive mistake you'll ever make. You don't know the full story. Full confession. Confession room. Shocking twist. Twisted truths. Control and mindset. Quiet power. Deeper meaning. Unset lines. Final message. Last words never said.